All right, the first question, Judy is looking to buy a textbook. The textbook normally costs $75.82, but it's on sale for 35% below the regular cost. How much will the book cost before taxes if Judy is to buy it while it is on sale? Round to the nearest cent. So, when we look at this here, so 75.82. Well, we could take 75.82 and multiply it by 0.35. And what do we get when we take 75.82 and multiply it by 0.35? 5.82 times 0.35. 537. Now at this point here, we can take the 75.82 and subtract from it 26.537. 5.2. $49 and we have $49 in 0.283. So we round to the nearest what? Cent. So really the 3 is gone. So the correct answer is $49.28. Over. Did everybody get that one right? Yes. So you can go. I think they called you a minute ago. So that is the correct answer. They weren't looking for how much of a discount did you get. She wanted to know the final value. Question number 2, a pretzel company usually spends $137 per week on salt, but due to a recent salt shortage, the price of salt has increased 40%. Assuming the company continues to purchase the same volume of salt per week, what is the new weekly cost of salt for the company? So wait, what is the salt price doing? Is it going up or down? Which way is it going? Up, yes? So the new price should not be less than 137, yes? Now, is it asking for the new price or the price that it increased? The new weekly cost, yes? So it's not wanting to know what the increase is, it wants to know what the new cost is. So what that means is, well, F can't be it. G is not going to be it. Because if it's F or G, the price went down, yes? So those are thrown out. Now, is 40% pretty close to 50%? Yes? Now, half of, let's just say 140 is 70, yes? So, I mean, it might be somewhere close to what, 200? Would that be a good rough estimate? So is $142 going to be anywhere close? No? Gone? So we're really looking at 191 or 200 or 219, yes? Well, either one of those could be it. So let's actually work it out. So we could say 137 times 0.4. Times 60. Yes. Because if we just do 4.4, we get 54.8. And well, to actually get the value, we have to add it back to the original amount. We get 191.8, which is the correct answer. So what did we really do for this here? Well, we took 137.4, which would have given us the 54.8, but we're really taking 137 and adding to it what 137 times 0.4 is. Yes? Because we're taking that and adding it back to the original amount. Well, technically, I have 137 in both, yes? We could factor it out and say 137 times, well, factored out from itself is 1 plus, well, if I factor it out of here, all I'm left with is 0.4, yes? Well, 1 plus 0.4, we'd have 137 times 1.4. Well, what is 137 times 1.4? Y'all know? Try plugging it in and see what you get. Yeah. And we'll see that and how that works, so more in depth. And the last one, Kyle is looking to buy a shirt for his girlfriend's birthday that normally costs $85. Luckily for Kyle, the store is selling the shirt, or the store selling the shirt is having a 30% off sale for all their items. After the discount, Kyle must pay 6% tax on the shirt. How much does Kyle end up spending on the shirt for his girlfriend? Does anybody have the answer for it? Huh? D. So, one of the things that we can do with this here, with increase and decrease, so the 30% off, is it going up or going down? It's going down, yes? So if I take 30% off, I'm only paying for how much of it? 70%, yes? And this is a tool that I use especially when I'm looking at prices for something. I don't multiply by 0.3. I multiply by 0.7. Because 70% is actually what we're paying for. We're not paying for the 30. That's what's being taken away. So what I will do is I would just take the $85 and multiply it by 0.7 because that would give me the discount, yes? And now this amount here was going to get multiplied by 0.06, yes? Now, is sales tax, is it going to increase the value or decrease it? Increase, yes? So whenever something's going to be increased, we can always say 1.06 because it's taking the original amount for the 1 and adding a 6% increase to it. Now, at this point here, you can actually type that whole thing in and do 85, if I can talk, times 0.7 times 1.06. And you get 63.07, yes? Now, would it have been cheaper to apply this sales tax first before applying the discount? Josh knows the answer to this because I think I covered it last year. Anna Marie, what do you think? Would it be cheaper to apply the sales tax before the discount? Why not? What are we doing here? I am multiplying 3 things. What do we know about multiplication? In any order, does order matter? So will it make a difference if I apply the taxes first or last? No, you actually get the same value because we're just multiplying 3 things together. That is a very common thing. We sometimes think the order would change it, but it actually doesn't. So our learning targets. Solving problems with percent increase, percent decrease in both. Well, increase is going up, decrease is going down. I don't think we need to focus too much on that. I hope at this point y'all will know the difference between percent increase and percent decrease. Percent increase. You go out to eat and your bill is $50. You want to tip the waiter 20%. What is the total amount of your bill, or what's the total amount that your bill should be? Well, when we look at this here, oh, I hope I actually have the, all right, whatever. Probably on there somewhere. We want to increase the bill by 20%, yes? So we can take 50 and multiply it by what? Because it is going to be 0.2 for the 20%, but I would put 1.2. And really what this is coming from is taking 50 plus 50 times 0.2. Because 1.2 is saying I'm multiplying it by 50 and whatever 0.2 of 50 is. Because I have 50, if I factor it out like I did on the other one, it's the same as saying 1 plus 0.2, which is 1.2. Amount on the bill is 50. And when you did 50 times 1.2, did y'all get 60? Yes? That's it. That's all we have to do with this here. Percent increase. The initial value plus the initial value times the percent increase is the value. Okay. There it is. Percent increase. Oh, too far. So there are 4 problems on here. Let's do 2. Because I think that'd be fine, because I don't think this is something y'all need a whole lot of extra work with. Hopefully not. Doesn't seem like it. Yes? So looking at those 4, which one looks like it'd be harder to do? Or more challenging? One and 2. Number 1, a car rental service recently purchased all new vehicles. To help cover the cost, rental rates have to be increased by 26% from the normal rate of $45 per day. What should the new rate be? Well, the old rate is $45, yes? And we're increasing it how much? 26%. So we're going to multiply it by what? Multiply it together. Do we agree with $56.70? Watermelons at a local stand now sell for $5 each. To make a profit, the owner marked up the original cost of the watermelon by 25%. What was the original cost of each watermelon? So what are we saying? That the original cost was? Yes. Yes. The one? So when we think about this here, so really what we would do for this is that the initial cost is $45, yes? And we would add to it 45 times 0.26. Because the 45 times 0.26 is just the amount that it's going to increase, yes? Now, what I can do is I can manipulate the numbers a little bit. Now, there is 45 in both of these here, yes? Now, if I factor it out or divide each one of these terms by 45, well, 45 divided by 45 is 1. Yes, anything divided by itself is 1. plus. When I divide the 45 times 0.26 by 45, well, the 45 and 45 would simplify to 1, leaving me with just what? And what is 1 plus 0.26? Now, that is essentially the reasoning why we can do that, but it works for any of them. Because if I'm looking at the percent increase that it's going to go up, well, I can just multiply whatever the number is by 1 point, whatever the percent increase is, or decrease. Because we have 100% of it, we have the total 45, plus whatever it's going up. So we can say 1.26. Does that make sense? Now, if it's going down, and we'll see that in a minute, we wouldn't use 1 point. We would use the opposite. So like with this, it was marked off 30%. So I'm subtracting 30 from 1, which would give me 0.7. So instead of doing it by 0.3, we would do it by 0.7. And I can show the math on how that looks there in a little bit. Now, the watermelons, now how much are they selling for? $5 each, yes? Now it tells us that he marked the watermelons up 25%. However much he paid for them, he increased the price by 25%, yes? Do we know what the original price was? No, that's what they're asking for, yes? So we're going to take x times 1.25. Because since we're increasing, it's going to be 1 point, whatever the increased amount is. Now, what does that also tell me? That the price of the watermelons, actual price, is going to be greater than or less than $5? Less, because the cost is $5. He increased it 25%, yes? So that means whatever x is, it's going to be less than 5, yes? So on the answer choices, J and K are gone, because we know whatever the price of watermelon should be less than 5. So we're looking at F, H, or F, G, or H. How do I get x by itself? Divide by 1.25. And I believe if you plug it in 5 divided by 1.25, you should get 4, yes? How do we feel about these here? Feel good? Okay. Now, if you want to go back and later on try them, 3 and 4 is D and H. So D and H for 3 and 4 are the answer choices. So if you ever wanted to go back and retry them, you have the answers of what you're looking for. Percent decrease. So this here's the first one they gave us. You are shopping at a new sweatshirt, or you're shopping for a new sweatshirt. The sweatshirt you like is $40, and it has a 15% discount on it. What is the price of the sweatshirt after the discount? So realistically, if we're doing this the way that they, or mathematically we would do this, is we would take $40, because that's the original price, yes? And we're going to subtract from it the discount, the amount discounted, which would be 40 times 0.15. Because 40 times 0.15 would give us the amount of the discount, and we would subtract it from the original amount, yes? Now, I'm going to manipulate the numbers again, kind of like what we did on the last one, where we saw, okay, now we get 1.26. Here, I can do the same thing. I can factor the 40 out. I can divide each of these by 40. Well, 40 divided by 40 is going to be 1. And 40 times 0.15 divided by 40 is going to be minus 0.15. Now 1 minus 0.15 is 0.85. This is going to be 85%. Because if it decreased by 15%, you're just paying for 85% of the whole thing. And we can multiply this here. So we can do 40 times 0.85. So go on and plug that in, and you'll get the answer. And again, with this percent increase and decrease, unlike most of the stuff we do in Algebra 2, this is helpful, especially if you're going out and actually looking at something. What is a decent discount? Instead of having to actually try to do it all in your head, okay, well, it's 40% or 20% off, so 0.2 times 40 is 8. Okay, 40 minus 8 is 32. Or we can just say 0.8 times 40, 8 times 4 is 32. Okay, so it's going to be $32. So it's a little bit easier to work through, especially if you have multiple discounts. And so you're not multiplying, subtracting back to figure out where you're at. Questions on this here? Okay. Percent decrease. We'll look at the first two. Josh works on an assembly line at a local factory and makes $400 per week. However, Josh has to pay 23% of his check as taxes. How much money is Josh actually taking home every week? Well, we can do 400 times point. Well, 23% is 0.23, yes? Well, we're going to subtract it from 1. Now, we could do it in a calculator, 1 minus 0.23. I'll go on and write 0.23 up here, because that's what we're discounting, yes? The way that I would do this in my head, and whenever I'm grading or counting or taking the grade, especially on tests, this is how I end up doing the final grade. Because if I look at this here, what do I need to add to 3 to make it be 0, or to go up to 10? 7, yes? Okay, I'll put that down. Because 7 plus 3 is 10, which makes that 2 into a 3. What plus 3 is 10? So 1 minus 0.23 is 0.77. That's it. So now we can plug it in 400 times 0.77, which is, let me try that again. That's it. Another way you could have typed it in is 400 times 1 minus, hold up. I mean, you could have typed it in as 400 times 1 minus 0.23, hit enter, and it would tell you what it is. Questions on this here? Let's look at the next one. Number 2, Jeff is paid $9 an hour at the grocery store where he works. He was caught sleeping at work 3 times this past week. So his boss gave him a 15% pay cut. How much does Jeff earn per hour? So he works $9. He earns $9 per hour. And he's getting a 15% pay cut. So we're really going to multiply this by, well, 1 minus 0.15, or 9 times 0.85. And we could plug that in. And we would get Well, what it did was because without the percents, it did 9 times 1, which is 9, minus 0.15 is 8 point. Is that what we want? No. We need the parentheses for it to minus first. Now, I know that there is more to this packet, and we could probably finish the whole thing today, but due to the fact that you were supposed to be Miss Ellis's today, and we're missing quite a few.